Hey, welcome back, tech recruiters. So let's talk about this incredibly powerful language called Java. Now, Java is used for building a variety of applications, from web applications to mobile apps as well. Java is everywhere. It's known for its reliability and scalability, but there are a few things you really need to understand before we dive into an interview with a Java developer or discuss Java with a client. So this episode is going to take you through the essential concepts of Java, and basically they'll equip you to confidently sort of conduct interviews with Java developers, but really just get to understand why it's so popular as well. Java is a versatile language, firstly. It allows developers to write once, run anywhere. This is a huge construct within programming, and Java really made this incredibly popular. In fact, it was effectively the world's first platform-independent language. Now, that is huge. In another episode, I'll try and get to the core of how that came about and explain that to you. But what this fundamentally means is that Java code is written in a way that it can run on different operating systems without needing modification. So that's a huge advantage in today's diverse technological landscape, where we're using everything from watches to glasses in terms of our technology. But in the past, what you needed to do was recreate an application. If you were using another language, you would need to rewrite the application again and again to run on the different operating systems or the different platforms that are out there. But imagine along comes a language called Java, and it says, I have WORA, W-O-R-A, write once, run anywhere, platform independence. That is huge. It means that you can save a lot of time in development by not having to rewrite that application again and again. Now, think about this in the context of a large global organization. Those organizations are not made up of a homogeneous operating system across the whole landscape. That company was built up as a result of mergers, acquisitions in the past, and so lots of different divisions within that organization will have different operating systems. They'll be in different countries, they'll have different devices, and so in the past you would have had to create the application and then cascade it down in different forms to all of those different divisions. But now with WORA, you can write once, run anywhere. Java allows you to do that. Why would you not? Now, Java achieves its portability through this layer within its software called the Java Virtual Machine. So this is going to be something that you're going to see on CVs and job specs, the JVM. And it's a very important term because the JVM acts as an intermediary between Java code and the underlying operating system that it's sitting on. So any other operating system that it's sitting on, it will then basically be able to translate. So when you compile Java code, it's transformed into this platform-independent format called bytecode. And the JVM then interprets that bytecode and gets it ready to become an executable machine when the Java virtual machine is installed. We're getting quite techy, but essentially what we mean, whenever you see the term virtual machine, it implies portability. Now, this write once, run anywhere capability is a key reason behind Java's popularity around the world for the last 20 years or so, especially in enterprise environments, as I mentioned earlier, where applications need to run on various different platforms. The second thing that is that Java embraces the principles of this thing called object-oriented programming, another huge term, OOP. So you're going to see this, the two terms OO, you're going to see resonating again and again throughout IT. And what object-oriented development essentially means today, really coming into its own because of AI as well. OOP is a programming paradigm that allows you to recreate or reuse software components again and again without having to recreate them. So developers can effectively use pieces of code that are pre-written even by other people, and they can bring them into their own software applications. That's huge. It's a bit like copy and paste coding. I've made it sound very simple. It's actually very, very complex. Again, I'll go into it in another episode. But when you think about object-oriented development, think about the ability to create objects that actually can define certain characteristics of whichever user is using that software as well. So in banking, it could be a customer. In a website, it could be a button or a process. So objects can encapsulate processes and items that you need to reuse again and again. And what this means is that you can bring that into your software development as a coder, and you don't have to write it from scratch each time. Huge, beautiful concept. So Java is one of the most powerful object-oriented languages in the world. Now, the other thing you need to know is that Java boasts this huge library and ecosystem, a very mature ecosystem of libraries and frameworks. So again, these are terms you need to get very comfortable with, and these pre-built components are there, again, to provide easy solutions for programming tasks. So what are libraries? Libraries are collections of reusable pieces of code that you can use again and again. You can understand the concept of objects and libraries coming together quite nicely. What are frameworks? Well, frameworks are a larger paradigm. Think of them like a toolbox. And in that toolbox, you can have libraries, you can have objects, but again, all geared towards making building applications much easier. One of the big components, big frameworks for Java is Spring, a very popular framework for building enterprise applications. And again, it simplifies development by handling tasks like database interaction and web request processing, and Spring is very good at that. Another one is Hibernate, and that's again a framework specially designed for managing database operations in this object-oriented manner. But I'm just drip feeding these into you so that you can understand when you see terms like Hibernate and Spring. We're going to mention a lot more in terms of frameworks and libraries in my next video about Java, but for now I'm just introducing the concept to you. Now, Java does come with its own standard library as well, and it's got its own comprehensive library, which is essentially an ecosystem of Java. And so you'll see that on CVs, Java Enterprise Edition, Java Standard Edition. These are all ecosystems of the Java environment, and they all provide a rich set of classes and interfaces that developers can use again and again. Now, we're going to bring all these back when we start discussing how to interview candidates, and I've got a separate video on how to speak to Java candidates properly. So we're going to bring all this back in, but I'm just introducing some of these concepts for you. At this stage, I guess the final thing that I want to say is that Java has this huge benefit of having a large and active community of developers worldwide. This community is a valuable resource for both novice and experienced programmers. And even if you're an experienced programmer, you're going to delve into the community and ask for help and hints and pieces of code. So there are online forums, discussion boards, and this community is an open source project, and it provides continuous evolution of the language. So it provides opportunities for learning, collaboration, and problem solving. And this active community ensures that Java actually remains relevant and up to date. So it's constantly being evolved. New libraries and frameworks and tools are constantly being evolved and shared amongst the community. So this fosters innovation and pushes the boundaries of what is possible with Java even today. So I hope I've given you an initial insight. We're going to go deeper into this in the next episode, but I hope I've given you an initial insight into how to start speaking about the language called Java and how to just get comfortable with what Java is and why it's so popular. We've covered Java's portability, its object-oriented nature, and its really robust ecosystem. And we're going to delve into much more of how to speak to these candidates in the next episode. Let's go there now.